and welcome to another episode of Threat Update. I'm Killian Engler, and joining me today is Ryan O'Boyle. Ryan, how's it going?
Hey, Killian, doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome, thanks for being on again. So I know on every episode, we ask that our viewers, of course, subscribe and like our videos if they're enjoying it, but we also ask for people to leave comments as well. And we wanted to take a few minutes and just address a couple of the comments and questions that we got from our viewers, because there were a couple really good ones. So the first one that we got was from somebody who mentioned that they were currently an IT professional, but looking to get into the security world. So they had asked for some recommendations from us for resources that they could leverage. And I thought this was a really good one to address, just because this is something that comes up, I think, fairly frequently. The one thing that I will say is that security is so broad. There are so many different avenues you can go down. It's kind of hard to pick one. So really, at least in my mind, you have to go where you're passionate. I know Cody on our companion channel, Security Forward, is really passionate about Wi-Fi security. So he does a lot of research in that area, and he joins a lot of projects to really dive in there. Ryan, I know one of the things that we've talked about a lot recently is your kind of emerging passion for cloud security. What resources would you recommend if somebody were interested in learning more about that?
Sure. So there's definitely a lot of great content out there, whether it's just security in general, or in this case, I've been focusing on more of the cloud security and the cloud architecture side. The Cloud Security Alliance publishes a lot of great documentation, so I would highly encourage you to check that out. If you're more of a table and spreadsheet kind of person, would definitely check out the Cloud Controls Matrix. That's a good one to really dive into. And if you're less of a table or spreadsheet kind of person and more of a document or prose type of person, definitely would check out the CSA's security guidance on cloud architecture and cloud security. So the 14 domains, definitely a good one to dive into. It'll start with some fundamentals, but get pretty into the weeds, and I think it's a great resource.
That's awesome. I think that'll really help. That's something that I've been a little bit interested in too, and I'll have to check that out later on. The other thing that I was passionate for, kind of going a little ways back, was file system forensic analysis. And there was a great book called File System Forensic Analysis, I believe by, I think the author was Brian Carrier, that dove into kind of really the nitty gritty, really understanding how like NTFS and the macOS file system was set up, and using some of the forensic tools like the Sleuth Kit. I'm not sure if it's still around, but to really kind of dive down in there. Maybe that shows a little bit of my age, because I think it's a fairly old book. I read it a number of years ago. But that was something I always thought was kind of really cool and really interesting, at least for me. So it really just depends on what your passion happens to be in terms of the resources. The other comment that I'd like to address too is, this was pretty funny. Kyle, our other guest on the show sometimes, this was a pretty funny one for him. And some viewer had said, hey, it looks like Kyle had skipped third period to come and do Threat Update. We had a good laugh at that. And we were talking about that on that recording, and Kyle said, oh, I hate third period. I'm gonna skip third period. And I said, you better not. You better not. Let's see if that one lands for anybody out there in the audience. But no, Kyle joins us from the West Coast, actually. So don't worry, everybody. We did it early in the morning for him. He was kind enough for all of you to get up well before the sun came up to record this for us. So we definitely appreciate him joining on those and being so fresh and energetic at so early in the morning. Ryan, any other resources you want to talk about before we sign off for the day?
SANS puts out a lot of great content as well. I know they have courses, but they also, post a lot of content online. And honestly, I think sometimes Google is our best friend. Just type in some keywords. That's how I tend to find a lot, and it's pretty easy to link to other areas. So definitely encourage you to get out there. Just do a quick Google search, poke around, and reach out to peers. On LinkedIn, or other social media forums as well. We'd love to share.
Absolutely. I think it's a great thing about the security community too, is that we're open generally, and we love to collaborate and coordinate with other people out there, because we're all passionate about different things, and we can find those projects we love to work on. And hopefully the rising tide raises all ships. Maybe I'm butchering that, but I think as an industry, we'd like to all work together to provide back for the community. And that's one of the things I think that I enjoy about doing the show as well too, is I can bring information out to folks. Well, with that, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please, of course, consider subscribing to the channel and throwing us a like. And we did answer some viewer questions on this episode. If you have questions you'd like us to answer or comments, please go ahead and leave them below. We definitely do read them, as you can tell. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much. Ryan, thank you for joining. We'll look forward to talking to you all again soon. Take care.
Yeah. Have a good one all.